We have a very exciting rumor from somewhat of a trusted source about the next Metal Gear Solid remake, not talking about Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, but the one after. This report comes from Eurogamer.net, which says Metal Gear Solid remake is still in development at Konami, report suggests. And that report comes from Aria Jagones, who was recently right about their God of War expansion DLC, which was God of War Valhalla, and they say that several sources tell us that Konami is still working on a remake of the first installment, although right now Metal Gear Solid Delta, being Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, is a top priority for the studio. So let's go on and read this English translated Aria Jagones report. Months ago, one of our sources told us exclusively that several things were brewing about the future of the Metal Gear saga. In particular, he announced that a remake of the first installment of Metal Gear was being developed to be announced throughout 2023. Indeed, this did not happen, but it's quite true that Konami had several things in store, announcing a collection of first installments, the one known as the Master Collection Volume 1, and also Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta as a remake of said delivery. And it seems like the same people that leaked to them the God of War Valhalla DLC is saying now that the remake of the first installment of Metal Gear Solid is in production in one of its first phases, and that Konami has it in mind as one of its most ambitious projects for the coming years. If Metal Gear Solid Delta sees a launch in 2024, the remake of the first installment could well be the next big project on the horizon. It doesn't sound unlikely at all. Also, if we look at the Metal Gear Solid timeline, see that yes, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker is next, then Ground Zeroes, then Metal Gear Solid 5, then Metal Gear, then Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, and then Metal Gear Solid, the first installment, is then next. So it seems like Peace Walker and the Metal Gear Solid 5 and Metal Gear 2 won't be getting remakes. Something like a Metal Gear Solid 5 and Ground Zeroes does not need a remake at all. And it definitely makes sense that Metal Gear Solid would be next. Now, saying that this is going to be one of Konami's most ambitious big projects may mean it's going to be even bigger than the Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta remake, and they may even do some new voice acting for the game, or they could remake aspects of Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 to put into this remake of Metal Gear Solid 1. And Aria Jagones then had this. It reads, "This is the information we have had about this possible Metal Gear Solid remake. The game has been in development for several years. This is the project that Konami would put all of its efforts into after Metal Gear Solid Delta. Metal Gear Solid Remake would be a game that would be released only on PlayStation 5, so like Demon's Souls, it would not come to PlayStation 4. There's no information about the studio that is working on it or its release date." Now, it's very interesting that they only mention PlayStation here and not Xbox. We see that PlayStation has exclusivity with the Silent Hill 2 remake, and I think a lot of people thought that Metal Gear Solid 3 remake would also have exclusivity with PlayStation, but it seems like Konami actually wanted the game on all platforms. And it's likely that Metal Gear Solid 1 remake would also come to all platforms, just considering how they've treated this franchise so far. However, the original Metal Gear Solid 1 game was a PlayStation 1 exclusive, so it could mean that Sony really does want the Metal Gear Solid 1 remake to come to a time-limited exclusivity deal with PlayStation, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do land that exclusivity deal. But again, this is all just a rumor. Aria Jagones was right about the Valhalla DLC, and I think we all expect that Metal Gear Solid 1 was likely going to be the remake after Metal Gear Solid 3, but it was still up in the air whether they would remake a Peace Walker. It's crazy that last year in January we had no information about where Metal Gear Solid was going. I started this channel on the rumors and speculation of where it may go in 2023, and now we've already had the Master Collection Volume 1 and we're looking forward towards Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, and now we've just gotten this rumor about Metal Gear Solid 1 remake. So the Metal Gear Solid community is no longer in a drought, and it should introduce this game to a lot of new players. Hideo Kojima is also working on an espionage spy thriller game, which will be the spiritual successor to the Metal Gear Solid franchise, as unfortunately he doesn't own the Metal Gear Solid IP, Konami does, and now he has his own company. But he also says that his game will emerge the two genres of cinema and gaming and have it be an experience that we haven't experienced before. So in my head, I also consider that to be something that Metal Gear Solid fans would definitely be interested in, because it's a game in the same genre by its original creator. But guys, let me know what you think about this Metal Gear Solid 1 news. Do you think they are going to remake Metal Gear Solid 1 from the ground up, or according to this report have been remaking it from the ground up, as they said that they've been working on it for several years now? Or do you think it's going to be a remake similar to how Metal Gear Solid 3 is being remade, where it's just a major graphical upgrade? You remaking everything from the ground up besides the voice acting, of course. How do you think their approach is going to be for Metal Gear Solid 1 Remake? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you want all the Metal Gear Solid updates. We're also going to be going over Splinter Cell and Prince of Persia and the Assassin's Creed games too. And go ahead and browse the channel because we go over tons of games like Last of Us, Assassin's Creed, and so much more. So you're bound to find something that you like and want to keep updated with. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll leave my past Metal Gear Solid videos in the description and pinned comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out, God bless, and I'll see you in my next videos. Take care, guys.